Dave.
Hello, Internet. We meet again. Some of you may be confused because this is a Tuesday and not a Monday when I've been appearing on Happy Jacks consistently for years. But I'm super excited to be here. This is Burning Bright, Blade Runner actual play from Free League Publishing here on Happy Jacks RPG Network. Eventually, you'll find other sessions of this game at happyjacks.org/burningbright. And everything else that Happy Jacks has ever done, the dozens of game systems we've played around with to entertain you at just happyjacks.org/shows. Or you can find all the other links to our cool Discord where a bunch of awesome people hang out. All of that's on the website. You can find it there. I'm Kadave, for those of you that are new, that don't know me. I've been around a long time, but as a fan of all the Free League games, I'm super jazzed about this one because I'm also a fan of 80s sci-fi. So it works out great. Letting everybody know up front, this is a mature game. We're dealing with a world that has mature themes like sex and violence and everything in between. If that's not for you, if you're looking for something a little more PG, or if you're a parent that decides to pop your kids down to watch actual plays, this might not be the game for that. We appreciate that very much, and you could come watch another game here, and it would be totally cool. But this one, we're going to try and lean into the little bit of detective noir from the Blade Runner theme. So there'll be murders and mayhem and all kinds of stuff. Also, specifically, this game is about player characters that are playing officers of the LAPD in the future. I know that can be problematic, but we're going to navigate those waters together, and we have a list of lines and veils that we've talked about. We also use an X card here at the table, and we're here to have fun, right? I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I don't think any of the players do either. Again, gaming is about having a good time, not being an a-hole. So there you go. Wait, this is a mature game, not being an asshole.
Hey!
There you go. Yeah, let's go around the table. Say hi. We'll start over here.
Hello, I'm Sam, also known as Red Pandroid. You might remember me from such shenanigans as climbing things in the Unsung Tale. I'm here to probably do some more weird stuff, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay. Hi everybody, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. I was also in this seat not crazy long ago playing an extremely nice and nerdy elf from Unsung Tales. That will be very different than what is going to occur in this game. And yeah, I'm so excited to play this game.
Hi, my name's Cousteau. This is just my second time with Happy Jacks, and I'm really happy to be here. So you don't know me in too many roles. I'm just going to be witnessing the shenanigans mostly. I'm kidding. I'm going to be playing too.
I'm back, bitches! I'm Joey. I use he, him pronouns. I've been with Happy Jacks for a while. You'll probably remember me from Carefree High as the hot one. Vampire as the hot one, Traveler as the hot one. Wow. So, good chance I'll probably be playing the hot one. That's all I got.
You know, it's just like watching those interviews with Spicy Wings. Every time I sit down at the table, like, oh, look.
Yep.
So yeah, we're sitting down tonight to do character creation. We like to do that as a group, and we like to do it in front of everybody so they kind of see people's insights into characters. I find that interesting. Some people don't. If that's not the game for you, we'll be back 2 weeks down the road to actually kick off with episode 1, just after the beginning of September. But yeah, we're going to sit down. We're going to help everybody get through character creation. It's not difficult, and it's pretty fun, and it's kind of a group activity because we can ask some questions and talk as we go. Yeah. Like I said before, everybody is playing officer of the LAPD, specifically the Rep Detect unit that specialized in detecting replicants that were running loose on Earth, a la Harrison Ford in the film. And then this game itself is set in 2037, which is just before the events of the second film. So Ryan Reynolds isn't, not Ryan Reynolds,
Ryan
Ryan
Gosling.
Gosling,
the
the
other
other
Ryan.
one,
The other one.
is not running around amongst y'all yet. That's just not a thing. He's off having his weird experiences implanted at some point soon, probably. And yeah. So, rules-wise, this game is a free league game, so it is about building a dice pool and rolling those dice. The kind of customization here is that this game accesses way more of the polyhedral dice than most of the other free league stuff. You will basically use everything but D20s. Those get enough use other places, so we're going to exercise the D12s and the D8s and such. All right. So, let me do one thing real quick. I'm going to set a timer to remind me to take a little break to make it more comfortable for everybody else sitting here at the table. For anybody that's not familiar with Blade Runner's particular flavor of cyberpunk, this is not shiny and chrome cyberpunk. The technology of Blade Runner is biological tech. It's not people that have run around and replaced huge swaths of their body with robot parts. It's the replicants themselves are biological. That's why it's hard to tell. If they were running around like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator, a quick X-ray would reveal, hey, look, that's a replicant. We need to take care of this.
Spark with a big magnet.
Right, exactly. The problem would be quickly resolved if that was the case. The same thing with most animal life we will encounter in the game. The Earth in the Blade Runner universe has been destroyed. There is not much in the way of an ecosystem left at all, aside from what is artificially maintained by people. Most food is grown in a vat and formed and flavored artificially. Very, very wealthy people can afford real food grown hydroponically, but that's not what you're getting on the street. You're getting kind of the same protein paste shaped and flavored different ways most days. As LAPD officers, you guys have access to a lot more things than the average person. Los Angeles has become this mega zone where buildings are, 200 and 300 stories. They're just massive. And living below the 100th floor is down amongst the street, where 90% of people live. From there on up, it gets bigger and fancier, much like we see capitalism gone rampant in the world we live in now. So that's kind of the prescient bit of Blade Runner. You guys will be interacting with people from the very top of the stratosphere and from the very bottom, and everybody in between. As you investigate crimes and follow clues and deal with interviewing people, it's going to be a wide variety of folks. I'm going to do my best to try and differentiate them a little bit, so it's not just me talking to you every time. Yeah, should be fun. I think we can get started.
Okay.
Everybody about ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, let's start with, I gave everybody a packet of papers,
Yeah.
the first page being a character sheet, and I have a couple extra if anybody messes it up and wants to start fresh.
Don't tempt me, Frodo.
The first thing we should come up with is if you are going to play a human character or if you're going to play a replicant character. In the timeline of Blade Runner, there is a new corporation that has come around after the fall of
Tyrell.
Tyrell, thank you. Just literally, I was like, I could tell you all about the actor that played Tyrell. I could tell you everything else, but the name just flew out of my head.
One of the
After the fall of the Tyrell Corporation, because turns out the replicants weren't that stable, caused a lot of problems. The Wallace Corporation has recently begun building a huge corporate headquarters here in Los Angeles. They have bought all of the rights to all of the IP and tech that Tyrell had, and they have made a new level of replicant, the new Nexus 9 units. They have just been legalized for use here on Earth, so they exist. They're not super common, but they do exist, and one place you can find a good number of them is in the LAPD. As an organization with access to a decent amount of money and a lot of tech, and an organization that a big company like Wallace wants to keep happy, they're happy to provide some replicants to keep that equilibrium. So, we'll go around the table. We'll start with Joey this time.
Yeah.
You can either choose human, replicant, or I'll roll some dice and decide, and you don't know yet.
Oh, yeah. That's what I want. I like surprises.
So here we go.
You're a duck. Surprised?
Okay. The advantage to having terrible handwriting is none of you will be able to read it from across the table.
Even if we wanted to.
Ah, very good. So you will do character creation as if you were a human. If you turn out to be a replicant, that will only be revealed if you are in a situation that really pushes you to your limit.
Okay.
And the push mechanic is something, if you fail a roll, you can push yourself. Humans can push once, replicants can push twice. If you've already pushed once and you still fail, and you try and push again, that's the moment that I will inform you if you are or not. So it's
Love
in
that.
your hands to decide when you think you want to have this information come to light, for sure.
Okay.
But yeah,
Awesome.
until that point, you play as if you're a human.
Okay. We're marking human.
All right? Cousteau.
I would like you to roll.
All right.
All
as well.
right.
I like it.
I like the mystery.
Okay.
This is going to be my second game with Dave where there's a surprise robot.
You don't know.
Or not. Maybe not.
All right, okay.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been rolling this around, and I think I've decided that I want to decide,
Okay.
but is there any possibility of being a known bootleg model of Replicant?
Ooh.
Oh, so you're like one of the, like a Nexus 8?
Yeah, one of the functioning, built off the old line replicants. But it's known,
Right. It's on the up and up.
and I'm specifically picking the like jobs that would suit a character. It would suit them to hire someone who is
Sure.
a known existing replicant.
In the rules, no. But I love it. That's great. I think maybe the adaptation will be that you have to do an extra mental evaluation
Sure.
cycle kind
Yeah.
of a thing once in a while.
Yeah.
Just to see.
Just to make sure that I'm not
right,
losing
yeah.
it.
Like, they've been around a long time. Let's see how they're doing.
Yeah, and like maybe not as old as like the ones in the first movie that are like fully going,
No, yeah.
but
Those guys were Nexus 6.
yeah, but
So-
like maybe a prototype model of 9 into like actually an 8.
Sure, yeah. Well, I like that. It could be like a
8.5.
Nexus 8 that got
Got kind of
kind of the like firmware update sort
Yeah.
of thing. You
A
know?
Nexus 8S.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
basically thinking like with like someone who's existed in the world as a replicant and isn't exactly secret about it, but also isn't the most like you were made to specifically serve this one purpose.
Sure.
So socially operating more in the like human sphere of the way the game is made, but in reality is still just a replicant.
That is one of the things I should have probably mentioned earlier in the content warning. the big conflict in Blade Runner is humans and replicants. Oh, there's a lot of humans that don't like the idea of replicants, you know, in the "they took our jobs" kind of situation. And there's a lot of humans that look at replicants like robots. They're not people. They're just created to do a job. They're going to do that. We don't have to think about it. It's there's some people that will attribute anthropomorphic qualities to their Roomba, right? And then there's people that look at it like, oh, this is just a robot vacuum, whatever.
Yeah.
If I kick it, it doesn't matter.
No,
That kind of thing, right?
those are cute.
Nope, that makes me sad.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, Sam.
That's kind of a big source of conflict in the game.
Yes, it's part of the reason I want to poke the bear.
Sure.
Okay.
So that's why I just wanted to make sure that was out there. Like,
Yes.
that's a thing. Your
I-
character would totally be used to snide comment, even amongst other cops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And with the intention of being a character that did come from the city streets of LA in this era, I have some character concepts and stuff that I've been chewing on that I think this is the most interesting version.
Sure. I think it's awesome. Cool. It's great. Right, Sam?
Replicant. There was never another option.
Yeah.
For me.
absolutely.
Shocked. This is my shocked face.
Watch it ends up oops all replicants.
Oops, already. I love it.
Yeah.
Weirder things have happened. If you're cool, I'll make you one of the full new models.
Yeah, I think that
Like,
works.
if that works for your character. idea. Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at I think that works for either of the two archetypes I was looking at.
Cool. Perfect. So that comes to the second thing we should talk about is your archetype. There's a bunch of choices in the book. We should actually kind of go through them. The analyst is the crime scene investigator. Yeah, they're very much the CSI character, right? They are good at diving through data streams and surveillance video and, zoom and enhance. Blade Runner possibly
Zoom and
is one of the first examples of zoom and enhance
Yeah.
in the cinema.
At least
With
it
a
makes more
projector
sense there.
screen.
Yeah. And super slow. Cha-chunk,
Yeah,
cha-chunk, cha-chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So that's very much that character. The city speaker is just the street level cop, the one that knows everybody, the one that has a person they know that works in every diner from, the west side all the way out to San Bernardino. They've got somebody. They are tied into the street much more closely than most cops. The doxy is a replicant specifically designed to help with manipulating people and reading people, like extra olfactory sensors that help tell if a person has started to sweat more. That a doxy could watch somebody and see their heart rate from just watching their neck, that kind of stuff. So it makes them very, very good at A, manipulation, and B, reading people. The enforcer, pretty self-explanatory, right? They're the guy with a bat. Maybe before they were a cop, they worked security as a bouncer, that kind of thuggy, big, burly fighter person. The fixer, totally a spin doctory kind of PR person, right? They're definitely working. Community relations is a focus. They're working with trying to make sure everything looks great at all times, even if we're having a 15 serial killer run going on right now. But don't worry, that's not in your neighborhood.
no, that's fine.
They couldn't ever drive over here. It's like 10 minutes. You're fine.
Couldn't all be your neighbor.
Right. The inspector is the sort of quintessential detective, right? They're the Columbo of the Blade Runner universe. Whether they have one more thing or not, they're able to kind of do that stuff. The skimmer is you know, they're the cop that they're still doing the right thing mostly, but they've definitely leaned into that. Well, you know, how many guns does a drug dealer really need, right? Like, we could take a little bit of that cash. Nobody else knows. You know, that's the kind of cop. The one that has been on the job a while and has gotten jaded enough that they're just not willing to pass up an easy take. Yeah, and that's the archetypes. Who has thoughts? We can just bounce around.
I'm kind of vibing on Fixer.
Okay,
I'm feeling that PR spin,
sure.
communication, Alice and Janney West Wing vibe.
The smartest thing Kaiser Insurance ever did was hire her. Yes, their
That's true.
spokesperson. Man,
That's funny.
especially coming right off West Wing. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I trust that voice. They're telling me the truth."
Mm-hmm.
The Sam Watershed effect is real.
Sure. All right.
I'm kind of looking to flex to kind of fill, because I've got like two
Okay.
like concepts that I think I can choose between as we shake it out.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at either analyst or enforcer.
Okay.
I think either could work for me.
I really like Doxy, but yeah, that's just replicant only. The other one I was thinking of was Skimmer or City Speaker.
I was also thinking of city speaker, an analyst, but I was like, I pretty much just played basically that archetype in this chair.
That's why I was like, I looked at enforcer and I was like, wait, I just did that.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose. Okay, yeah, still feeling it out too. If you're you're really vibing on Fixer,
Yeah.
and you're looking at analyst and
Maybe enforcer.
maybe enforcer.
I don't want to typecast myself, but
Mhm.
at
You
least
do
I'm a
a
replicant this time.
Sam hit good.
Yeah, I do like to hit things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the idea of being City Speaker then,
Nice.
All right.
not so much Skimmer.
I dig that.
Having a thought. I'm gonna look at something really quick.
So you think you want to do enforcer?
I think so. Yeah, I liked kind of in the book. It talks about having done like off colony tours, and kind of like retiring to the LAPD.
Sure.
Which
Mm.
I really like the idea of that.
Sure.
Just like kind of double not knowing how to fit in society because first I'm a replicant and then I'm coming off of like basically being a soldier and having to reintegrate into society.
That's awesome. For sure.
Into a society that's not necessarily friendly to replicants, supposed to off-world to be more friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
100% the Rutger Hauer
Yeah.
archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a curveball, and I might. Okay, so I'm between analyst and inspector now.
Okay. It was the Columbo thing, wasn't it?
It's more so that I'm trying to fill in, like, I basically have like a concept that can be painted with any brush of any of these archetypes. So I'm like,
What's the best fit?
yeah, they're all good. They would all work. That's the thing. So I think it's more like, do we feel like we need an analyst? Do we feel like we need an inspector?
Whatever everybody ends up choosing, I promise we'll get through the mysteries.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to be that GM that's like, well,
You should have had. Yeah.
nobody had that skill set, so now you can't solve this, and everybody's fucked. Like, that's not. So, the next thing to talk about is how many years on the force. For both replicants, you have to be a rookie because
Okay.
replicants have only been legally allowed to operate on Earth for a year. You could have been operating here before it was legal, but not as a cop.
Yeah.
That's
I'm good
fine.
with that. That's kind of the goal.
For you guys,
Mm.
you can choose rookie, seasoned, veteran, or old timer, or we can roll, and you can see where you land. The advantage to being a rookie is you have the most core attributes. So almost every role in the game is going to be a lot like Tales from the Loop, where it's you take whatever die type you have in your attribute, and then I pair it up with a skill and tell you, okay, so roll, your strength and hand-to-hand combat. And so you take whatever dice you have in that, you roll those 2 dice. If you get any that hit above a 6, you succeed.
Okay.
So if your die type is a D12, you could theoretically double and get, I think if you roll 10 or higher. So if you have a D10 or a D12, you can get 2 successes off of 1 die,
Oh, nice. Okay.
like that. So rookies get the most attributes. Old timers have the most skill points because they've been around a long time. They've
Right.
developed those skills. Old timers also get more specialties, which, as we get into them, are kind of on the archetype pages, stuff like fast reflexes or interrogator or things that'll give you a bonus to certain situations. So old timers have more specialties because they learn some tricks.
Sure.
I think I am gonna go with the inspector. That's the
Inspector.
one.
Cool.
So since you're a replicant, can we call you Inspector Gadget?
I dare you.
What? I meant it as a compliment.
All right.
You would say that as a fixer.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm highlighting your strengths. What's the problem?
Okay.
I'm torn between rookie and seasoned. I don't know.
I mean, if you want to, you can just roll a d6
Yeah, let's roll a d6 and see where we end up.
because it's designed to roll a d12 to decide. But if you roll a d6, it can just do the first 2.
Okay. 4.
That's seasoned.
Seasoned. Okay. So years on the force would just be,
2 to 7 years.
let's do 2. Okay. So I'm seasoned, but like just barely seasoned. Slightly seasoned.
Lightly
Little-
seasoned.
Lightly
Lightly
seasoned.
seasoned.
Salt and pepper on the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very that.
Tastefully done.
Oh.
All right.
I'll roll the die. I don't know which.
Okay. So a d12 gives you the whole range.
Ooh.
8.
An 8 puts you as a veteran.
Oh wow.
All right.
Ooh.
That kind of makes sense.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Rookie table.
You've
Yeah.
been you've been around the city a while. You know a lot of folks, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So now we'll roll into your attributes. So your main attributes are strength, agility, intelligence, and empathy. Amongst those 4, all of your attributes start at. They use a number
D.
system A through D. It's an A is D12, a B is a D10, a C is a D8, and a D is a D6. So you're all starting with a D8 in everything, which is average. If you're a rookie, you get 4 points to up your stats. Yeah. So you can spend those 4 points any way you like. If you are seasoned, you're going to get 3 points.
3. Okay.
And a veteran, you're going to get 2 points.
And it's 1 point to go up a level?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So if you just want to take all your skills up to a D10, I mean, all your attributes up to a D10, you could do that as a rook.
I remember. Can we trade you a D level for a higher attribute as well?
Sorry, I forgot one other thing.
Okay.
You do have to take your key attribute from your archetype, and it has to go up to a level B or higher. So a D10
Okay.
or higher.
Okay.
So city speaker, your key attribute is empathy.
Oh, okay.
So you have to take that up to at least one step up.
We're just gonna take that strength up to A level.
And then we also
Yeah.
get an additional point.
Yes.
To go into strength or agility.
Replicants get a
replicants.
bonus point
Ooh.
also.
Okay.
Fixer, you're also
Crushing
empathy.
it.
Inspector, your agility. And enforcer, I believe, your strength.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So you mean it'll go? I can apply those 2 points to, and it goes from a D8 to a D10. Is that what you're saying?
1 point will take you from the D8 up to D10.
Oh, one will take. Okay.
And then your second point you could put in
Oh, let's see.
wherever you like, or you could put it in that key attribute again and just be really good at that thing
I see.
and average other stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
And on your character sheet, you kind of see the skills that are most often associated with that attribute.
Yeah.
And you'll have some key skills for your class as well, like mobility, connections, and insight. City speaker key.
Good to know. Okay.
Question for the table. How are we doing on intelligence?
I'm gonna B.
Okay. Because I was torn between making my B either agility or intelligence. So I wanted to make sure if we weren't covered in intelligence, I'd hop over. But
I have a C in empathy, so.
less.
Good job.
Thanks.
Proud of you.
Mm-hmm. I learned it off world.
Going against type, I actually put points and strengths. I never do this. I think that's me spent.
Next up, we'll come up with your health and resolve numbers. So your health is you take your die size for strength and agility, add them together, just the numbers, and then divide it by 4.
Oh, that's not nearly as fun as I thought it was going to be. Like, woohoo, that's a big number.
And you round up.
Math in my tabletop games?
It's not bad math.
So just to make sure I understood, you add the die, you said?
Yeah, so if you have
Your
like
agility?
2d8s,
Okay.
that's 8 plus 8, 16, divided by
Yeah.
4 is 4. If you have 2d12s, that's 24, so your health is higher.
6 health,
6.
baby.
Me too.
6 health.
I'm
okay.
at 5.
So add them together and divide by 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Just 2 of them?
Hmm?
Just 2 of them, or all of them?
Just the first 2 stats for
First
your
2.
health.
Okay.
That's physical health. So if you take a hit from somebody with a baseball bat or somebody shoots you with a gun, that's where that's going to detract.
Okay.
Your resolve is the same formula, but intelligence and empathy. Add those 2 together. Divide by 4.
All right, I'm 5 by 5.
Nice. Fairly balanced.
Yeah.
Replicants also get a +2 to your health.
Oh, damn. I'm very healthy.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Replicants weren't made to do delicate work.
No.
No.
Right.
I'm the same. I'm in the pipe 5x5.
Yes.
I almost forgot. Replicants are not as mentally stable as humans, so you're -2 on your resolve.
Fine.
So we round up
Round up in both cases.
and then subtract 2. Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Uh-oh.
Sun's getting real low over there.
Yeah. Hulk smash.
Good. 8 and 3.
You. Ooh. Ooh.
That's doing good.
Oh, sorry.
Love that.
That's the way
A
it
real
works.
reasonable table over here.
Yeah. We're gonna be very logical.
I mean, there's a reason why they make them go in and do those tests every day. Like, yeah, that's a thing. Okay. Skills work on the same level of dice, so D12 down to D6. You start with a D6 in every skill. You're going to get some points. I'll tell you how many in just a minute. To increase your skills, you can assign those extra points any way you want, but any of your key skills on your archetype, and I'll tell you what those are in a second, have to go up to level C. So they have to be a D8.
Okay.
You can make them higher, and as we play the game and you get promotion points, you can spend those to increase your skills. Your attributes stay locked in through the game, but your skills can go up with experience. So let's start with, well, I'm on the fixer page. So your key skills are connections, manipulation, and insight.
Oh, just all empathy skills. Got it.
For the city speaker, mobility, connections, and insight. For the enforcer, hand-to-hand combat, stamina, and firearms.
Ooh,
I might have done my math wrong.
she sounds fun.
For the attributes, you start at a C, or is that only for skills?
No, you start at a C for attributes. You start at a D for skill.
Cool, great.
And then for your inspector, your key skills are firearms, observation, and connections. If you're a rookie, you're going to get 8 points to up skills.
And we have to use them, 3 of them on our key skills, right?
Yes,
Okay.
at least 3 on those key skills.
Got it.
For a seasoned, you get 10 points.
10 points.
And then for a veteran, you get 12 points. Driving also counts as a skill. It's kind of outside the collection because it's one of the skills that really depends on what you're doing while you're driving. And I'm never going to be like, okay, roll your drive to see if you get out of the parking space. It's only
Driving
going to
test.
come up if you're in a car chase or you're in a huge hurry to get somewhere or something like that.
So I have a question. So I'm confused. What die do we use for skills? Then you said we're at C level, which is
Skills all start at D, which is a
Okay.
D6.
oh, okay. So sorry.
And then you can raise them up. Same method, just. But those 3 key skills have to at least go up 1.
Oh, those 10 points don't go as far as I'd like.
Neither
Nope.
do these 8.
All right.
Oofta. Okay.
Everybody pretty good on skills?
Yeah,
I wouldn't say they're good, but
they're complete.
You have done your part.
yeah,
Is all I
I wrote
mean.
the numbers down.
All right. So now for our seasoned fixer,
Yes.
you get to choose one specialty.
Oh.
So the 3 specialties that they specifically aim at the fixer, but you could choose others. But the 3 that they have laid out here are cash flow. You have an off-the-book source of cash and thus get a Chinyan point at the start of every case file,
Yeah.
which is just you got a bundle of cash in your pocket.
Cool. Love
You
that.
can use it to bribe people. You can use it to get more equipment, whatever you need to do with it. The second one is Insider. You get an advantage roll on all connection rolls to acquire gear or other resources from the LAPD.
Mm.
So that's, a deputy chief somewhere, or, the grizzled old detective sergeant. So if you know you're going to go into a bad situation, you're like, we could really use some body armor. That'd be great. You can use that advantage roll to get it.
Okay.
And the third one is Protected. When you lose a promotion point due to any failures from your duties, you roll a connections roll. For every eyeball you roll, the amount of points lost is reduced by 1. So let's say you guys completely screw up a case and you end up with a wildly murderous replicant that escapes. The brass of the LAPD is not going to be super happy with you, so you're going to lose promotion points.
Okay.
Basically, that's sort of the favor you get from work. And that's how you level up skills, and that's how you can get other abilities and things later on. And access to stuff. So, like, if you're like, oh, we really need a warrant for this guy, or can you put out an APB? Well, all right, pay up. That kind of a situation. But Protected means somebody's watching your back in the higher ups.
Okay. Those are all good. Let me think about it.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about our seasoned city speaker, because you get to pick 2.
Okay.
And I'll pass the whole list over to you guys.
I'm a veteran, aren't I?
Oh, veteran, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, veteran. Sorry. So the city speaker ones that they specifically have on here are Gutter Rat, which is you can move to a new location in LA on foot without rolling a connections roll.
Ooh.
So you know how to get from place to place without having to get on the phone and call for one of those
Yeah.
spinners, the flying cars,
Okay.
to come to pick you up and take you places without having to make a roll. You can
Okay.
just go there. Hardened is the second one. Your maximum resolve score is increased by 1, and you can pick this specialty up to 3 times. Where you've seen it all, right? You have spent time out there and you've seen people do crazy stuff.
Okay.
Doesn't really faze you anymore. You're just here to do your job. And the third one is origami.
Of course.
You can fold a mean origami figure. This takes a few minutes and heals 1 point of stress, but can only be done once per shift.
Okay. That's tempting
So
too.
it's totally just a thing you just,
Yeah.
And I'd be willing, if you wanted to make it some other little handheld craft or something, it doesn't have to be origami, but that's in theme.
Okay. No, it's totally fitting with the Blade Runner James Olmos character.
Yep. Because that's kind of exactly who he was.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Here, I'll pass over that whole list, because you could pick something off from those 3 that I mentioned. And then as rookies, you don't get any.
Nothing.
Biden.
Then we're about to get into the fun memory stuff.
Yeah.
That's the best.
All right, I gotta roll for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn between cash flow and protected, so let's.
Yeah.
Both are good.
Right. Even cash flow, odd protected. We're doing cash flow.
Woo.
Chainsaw wood carving, the famous small handheld.
Very soothing too.
Yeah. Nobody else is annoyed by that at all. Imagine in a dense urban environment. Your neighbor's like, I'm a chainsaw sculptor. And you're like, no.
But you are.
Absolutely not.
It is time to move. You or me, buddy. One of us is going.
I've got the chainsaws though.
Right. Right.
Damn, I brought a chainsaw to a knife fight.
Speaking of which, for video gamers out there, I just spent some time this weekend playing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game,
Oh.
which is interesting. And it's a super cool digital recreation of the film.
Oh boy.
Huh.
So if you're a fan of the movie and you're a fan of early slasher stuff,
Yeah.
it is pretty cool, even if you just walk around it like a museum,
Mm-hmm.
because you're like, oh, okay, I could see how this was all, obviously they didn't actually build it in a real ranch. It was sets and things when they made the film, but they made it into a place.
Wow.
So you're like, oh, okay, I can see how, okay, I see how this went and that stuff. It plays like halfway between the Friday the 13th game that was out a few years ago and unfortunately met with horrible licensing problems.
Oh.
And the Dead by Daylight, which is the big popular
Yeah.
Mhm.
horror franchise at the moment. Plays kind of between those two because it's asymmetrical. There's 4 victims and 3 family members who have to hunt them down.
Well, I think we know what we want.
Okay.
We picked.
Oh yeah, I'm good. Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do gutter rat.
Okay. You get to pick 2.
Okay, but two. Oh, that's right. Okay, well, I'm doing gutter rat and origami.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Rock on.
Here, we'll pass that back.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfecto. All right. So now we will move on to your key memory. So the key memory is really kind of that core little bit of you, right? And for humans, replicants alike, replicants, it's been implanted. But for humans, it's just some moment from your past that really kind of shapes who you are in some way. As we're playing, if the key memory you generate turns out to not be a key memory, we can totally go back and change it into something that makes more sense for your character. This is just a starting point, right? And it also could be a very important moment in your past that just isn't your key memory anymore because you've moved on to something else, right? Maybe it's not, you resolved that conflict from your past or something, and you moved on. Now, there are some tables here to help you generate, or if you have some idea in your head about some memory in your head that really helps define your character, you can do your own thing. If you'd like, you can look through the tables and choose, or my personal favorite, but no shame if you don't want to do this, we can roll on these series of tables to generate these key memories,
Yeah.
Table
Yeah.
me, baby.
which I think is super fun.
What page is the tables on?
Start on 31.
Okay.
Okay. So first off, memory table 1, everybody roll a d6.
D6?
Yep.
There's 8 options. Oh no, I can't read. There's 6 options. Pulling the wrong dice.
Killing me, making me put on my glasses, so I'm not doing this. All right. What'd you get, Sam?
5.
All right, so your memory was some years back.
Okay.
4. When you were an older teenager turning into a young adult.
Cool.
Yeah, 2.
2 is during childhood, you remember it like it was yesterday.
Same 4. So older teenager, young adult.
All right. Now for table 2, you guys roll a d12 this time.
5 again.
5 again. In a serene, exclusive corporate headquarters.
Ooh.
I also got 5, but I don't love it.
I'm happy if you want to roll again.
Yeah, I don't know if that fits for my character. Let's see if.
There we go. 6.
Oh yeah, 12. Somewhere off-world colonies. But-
Perfect.
All right. And 6 was
in the derelict housing projects of Los Angeles Hills.
Beautiful.
all right.
I love
Right.
that.
I'm gonna re-roll because I also got 6. I mean, we had 2 of the same in a row, so I'm just gonna. We're just gonna fix that. It's fine.
Don't read anything into that.
Yeah, 'cause
Right?
Mine's very real. My memory is very real.
Where's yours is.
I thought mine was. In a foreign land, surrounded by crowds speaking a language you didn't understand.
Spicy.
I rolled a 4. I can't.
4 is lost in the seething crowd in a loud, dimly lit nightclub.
That sounds about right.
Ooh.
Sometimes the interesting thing about this memory table thing is sometimes you'll get something and you'll be like, how does that make sense? But then as you go through, you're like, oh, that would be weird.
Yeah.
Or like, that would be an interesting thing. Of course I'd remember. Like, because you also got during childhood.
Yeah.
So a childhood in a nightclub.
Nightclub. Oh, I
that's
love
weird,
that. Yeah, that
but,
is super weird.
Mm-hmm.
but like, maybe that's why it's a key memory. You're like, oh, why was I lost in a nightclub?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. We'll see.
Humble beginnings.
Table number 3 is another D12. And this is who was there. Let's start with Joey this time.
Your parents.
Your parents were there. Okay.
I rolled 7.
Which is a Blade Runner was there.
I also got a 7.
Oh.
Ooh.
10. A perfect stranger. Love
Ooh.
this.
All right. Table number 4 is another D12.
I suffered a moment of weakness.
Okay.
All right.
Got 8.
8, which is you made an unforgivable compromise.
Oh boy.
I got a 1.
You saw something extraordinary you cannot explain.
Mm.
All right.
This.
I was physically attacked. That makes sense
Yeah.
for my character. That Blade Runner wasn't friendly, turned out.
Apparently that they managed to get off planet and find you in the off-world colonies. That's
I don't
wild.
think they managed to get back, though.
No, apparently not. For sure. And then number 5 is another D12.
Bold.
Okay, this is how did it make you feel? So it made you feel bold that you compromised your ethics? Was that what it was?
Had a moment of weakness.
Moment of weakness, okay. Maybe you did something and it worked.
Oh, gee. I was hopeful.
Okay. I could see some ways it goes.
Or I mean, if I was hopeful and I made an unforgivable compromise, like I couldn't forgive myself, but I was still hopeful.
What'd you get out of it?
Hmm. So hopeful means like I'm sure it's gonna work.
Mm.
Or no, optimistic would be hopeful would be like I think there's a chance it'll work. Okay, I guess it could fit.
Well, or it could also be hopeful for the future.
Yeah.
Like, maybe this choice you're making now is,
Hurts now,
Not-
but maybe
yeah,
later hurts
yeah.
less. Okay. So
or maybe it
but it just hurt everyone.
sets you up to be on the path of your life. That, you know, it was a terrible moment, but that's what set you down the road to a life and a career and that stuff.
Oh, so that was the hope, was like, okay,
Like,
yeah, getting out of the gutter.
Maybe I can get out of this.
Yeah. This club. Okay.
Yeah, being a kid that's suddenly at a nightclub. That's,
It's home. But it's home.
right?
I got 7. Loved.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
interesting. It made me feel lost.
Lost.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
That makes me think about, like, was that the first human you ever had to kill?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Or, like, was that your first time that you met a human that wasn't friendly?
Yeah.
Those kind of questions. Things to think. All right. Now we move on to your key relationship. So this is, it's going to be an NPC. It's not another player that kind of plays some sort of a big role in your life.
Okay.
So it could be a neighbor, it could be a friend, it could be a lover, it could be, a parent or a mentor, things like that. Again, we're faced with you can make some choices or we can roll some dice.
I'm gonna roll the dice.
Roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll and a roll.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this one is all D12s, 3 tables. So the first one is who is it?
Sorry.
What'd you get?
Doxy.
Oh,
Okay.
I also got a doxy. I'll re-roll. It's fine.
No,
don't
I think
have
it's
to.
perfect. That's like maybe it's the
Maybe
same
it's the
person.
same
is
doxy,
it the
yeah.
same Doxy?
Yeah.
That would be fascinating.
Because I almost seemed like when I was thinking like an unforgivable compromise, like who would I have met along the way that would get me into making a compromise? That might
I
seem
don't know.
Like an opportunity.
Can't imagine what that looks like.
Mine is a 9, which is a suspect,
Oh.
which is
Ooh.
spicy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mine is a sibling.
Sibling, okay.
Define sibling.
In replicant terms, it means someone that came from the same batch.
Yeah. I'm thinking probably somebody who was like in my unit in Offworld.
Sure.
Yeah.
Also moved back to Earth when the laws changed.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, table number 2. What is your relationship like?
What was it? 8? Deceitful. Oh, all right.
Are you playing them? Or are they playing you? Or are you both trying to do it at the same time?
I mean,
What'd you get?
I got deceitful too, so I
Oh,
re-rolled.
okay, okay.
I re-rolled and I got friendly.
Okay.
So I like the randomness, but I did want to do something different. So
Sure, yeah,
so
yeah,
I'll take friendly.
That's cool. It also makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I got loving, too.
Oh.
A
Wow.
loving relationship
This is
with
a
a suspect
consistent theme.
is a whole
So spicy. I love it.
energy.
Yeah. What'd you get, Sam?
I got protective.
Oh, all
Makes
right.
sense.
Yeah,
Ooh,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like Semper Fi.
Yeah.
mhm.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. And then table number 3, another D12. What's going on?
Ooh,
What'd you get? I'm excited.
they know your deepest secret.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, dice down. Sam's already throwing things.
Oh no, I'm throwing things. There we go.
All the way over there.
Hi, Pita. Watch out, buddy. Come here. Back up.
I didn't,
There you go.
I didn't see it land. I'm
I
afraid.
did.
Stop.
Then I thought, roll. Where'd it go?
Great question.
Oh, found it.
Okay. I was like, please don't tell me Doggo got it.
We did it.
No.
We did it, Reddit.
All right.
I got. They want you to quit your job, which is
That
perfect.
Makes
Wow.
sense. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
yeah. Wild.
Let's see. Oh no.
Oh yes.
They are suspected of a crime.
Oh no! That's rough.
Yeah, getting the drama.
Oh,
over
yeah.
here.
Yeah. I got the same thing. Should I re-roll? Suspected of a crime.
Since you all are hooking up with criminals. Yeah, I mean, roll something.
Something else? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what we get.
I like having some interesting flavors.
They've gone missing.
Oh.
Okay, I'll do 2. They've gone missing.
All right. But see, the fun part about that is, these relationships give you motivations on which way your character might end up going before we even start, which I love. Also, relationships can be replaced if things go a certain way and that's the way the story goes. You know, maybe they flee off planet, maybe they do get arrested, maybe you find them. Now it's not a missing person thing, it's a what are we, what's our thing. You know, maybe you lure them out to the seawall and push them over the edge. You know, any number of
Doesn't
things
fix
can
your
happen.
problems.
Oops, I should put more points in strength.
You don't need strength if you have surprise.
Good point. Points in stealth.
All right. Now we'll move on to your gear. So, you start off with a set of standard issue gear, namely a badge. You can choose whether you would like to have the PKD blaster, which is the big gun that Harrison Ford had, or you can have a little subcompact kind of 357. Still a powerful gun, but easier to conceal upon yourself.
I'm not sure I understand.
I don't want you,
you
to
don't need a
understand.
gun.
Nobody's giving a digital assistant a gun. Period.
Do you want Skynet? That's how we get Skynet.
Exactly.
You all have the Knowledge Integration Assistant, which is essentially a smartphone that you strap on your arm. And that's the thing that allows you to communicate with each other at all times. You never have to... If you end up splitting up and going to different places, you can share information like you're there.
Okay.
Because you could just set it on speaker and be part of the conversation, even if you're not in the room.
What was the smaller compact gun you were talking about?
It's a 357 subcompact. You can see those on page 178 if you're interested in their stats.
Yeah.
So the thing about the blaster is it's kind of a combination of guns. So it has like sonic rounds that can stun. It has like a long range 22 rifle round that's very accurate. It's got big 44 rounds that can blow
boys.
people away. Yeah. And then the last thing that you have access to is a detective spinner, which is the flying car that you can use to get around the city. It is a two-seater. So
Okay.
Okay.
you're not all going to be in one car when you go places, even if you're going together. The other thing you have access to is dispatch, which is a highly advanced AI that handles essentially all 911 calls and routing police to various things, and EMS and fire and all of that runs through dispatch that runs out of the LAPD headquarters. The other thing that you have access to, but you might have to, promise some favors or sway somebody to let you to access it, is the Vesper network, which is essentially a mass surveillance machine that the LAPD has that has cameras pretty much everywhere, right? Like, you can usually find a camera aimed at a place unless it's been tampered with, which can happen, but in general, you have a lot of access to that stuff. But getting in there to do it, you either have to have permission or you have to get someone to let you into the mainframe to access that. Because the mainframe is also like, imagine someone actually got all government records integrated into a computer system that you can search, and not, oh, well, that's an old record, it's in the basement somewhere. Like, no. They actually keep it up to date. It's, again, part AI, but it's a huge record machine that has all sorts of stuff. Yeah. The next thing you get is you're going to get to roll a die here to determine how much chin yen, which is cash, you have as your character. And each of the archetypes has
I don't know.
a different amount. So let's get to
Then we are -1 as rookies on top of that.
Right.
so city speaker. You can roll a d8 to find out how much you have.
No.
Oh. Enforcer, you got a d6.
Okay.
Fixer, you have a d10.
Lovely.
And
I have D6.
Inspector also has a d6. And then -1 for
That puts me at a 1.
Oh no.
Oh no.
you can end up with 0. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You just put that under year, I'm guessing.
uh,
Where does it go?
I believe
Yeah.
there's a spot.
Feels like here, they're at the very bottom.
Oh.
They're tick boxes.
Oh yeah, it's the tick
Oh.
boxes.
Got it.
Okay.
1.
I know. Well,
One
me too.
check. I got 2.
I rolled an 8 and I get a +1 because of my cash flow, right?
Yes.
So 9.
You
Hot
got
and
the
wealthy.
money.
Got it.
Wow.
The next thing we should do is your promotion points. Replicants, sorry, again -1. For rookies, it's a D3, so roll a D6, divide by 2.
Okay.
For seasoned, it's roll a D6, and for a veteran, it's roll a D8.
This is, what is
Divide
for
by
again?
2 and then
Sorry.
subtract
Promotion
what?
points.
Promotion points. Okay.
Well,
I would end up in the negative if I actually subtracted.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
you
got
got
0.
I also got 0.
Okay.
I'd have posted bad for rolling a 1.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
I
rough.
rolled a 1.
D4,
A D8,
D8. Okay.
Yeah. and no dividing for you.
Yay! 4 whole.
Okay.
It's okay.
That's
Take it.
hilarious.
It's
Good thing
fine.
we're strong.
I think mine suits the vibe.
Oh,
You're
same.
also not. You haven't been employed here that long.
No.
Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
works.
Makes sense.
All right.
Okay.
And promotion points you can end up using to increase skills. You can also end up using them to, they're promising out favors. That kind of thing. Like in the LAPD, like
Sure.
I'm going to use the promotion point to make sure that I have, backup. I'm going to, use my sway to get that to happen. And then we'll go through how leveling up works. Next up is your signature item. So, the way items in the game work are you get your signature item can help you in this recover stress. Okay, as you get stressed out, you can take a minute. Maybe some of the examples on here are a photograph or a book. Taking a little time, pulling out that photo, looking at it, remembering why you're doing this, can lower your stress level. Or, maybe it's a musical instrument. On your time off, you pull out your guitar and play for a little while just to unwind.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Basically, it could be anything that you can think you might want to use. It doesn't have to be something you carry with you at all the times. But we also have a D12 table if you'd like to roll and see what you get.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Let's see. As long as it's not an origami bird, because I've got enough origami.
Yeah.
What's with the ones? All right, I have a photograph.
Okay.
3. I don't know what that is.
A ring.
Ooh.
Neat.
I think I'm gonna make mine in a minute because I have an idea spooling.
Okay.
I got a secondhand Animoid pet.
Oh,
Of course you
Oh,
did.
of
I
course
got a
you did.
service dog.
I'm proud of you.
Yay.
That's full experience. You have a
Yeah.
service dog.
so you want it to be a dog?
Yeah, I think so.
It could be a snake or a rat or a
Hmm.
bat
Komodo
or
dragon.
Big speeder.
Yeah.
a
Hmm.
parrot. You know,
Emotional support tarantula. No.
and again, these are things like we're not going to use these. You're not even if you pick dog, it's not
Yeah.
going to be the dog that you're like. I bring it to work and I
no.
sick 'em. That's not what we're doing here. This is the one that you go home and sit on the couch and they lay their head gently on your leg and you just go.
Yeah, it's gotta be a dog.
I think mine is a broken data crystal.
Okay.
So totally not able to ever be used as an actual piece of data.
Storage device, but
But
okay. It's one of those little things from your life at some point.
Yeah.
It means something. I like it. In terms of other items that you might find as we go, if you're trying to pick a lock and you have found some lock picks, I will give you a bonus to your roll. Right? If it's I've got the pass card for this corporate security guy and I'm trying to get into the corporate security office. Well, hey, there you go. Right? Like it's you would get a huge bonus in that situation. That kind of thing. So just depending on how appropriate it is, and if it's something you can think up before you go into the situation to go get, great. But again, if you're going to the LAPD to like requisition stuff, that's going to cost you something. That kind of thing. Now we get to figure out where you live.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So your home, we've kind of have a lot of choices. You again could pick, or it's a D12 roll if you're interested in that.
Where's the table?
One on 35. Excuse me.
35.
30.
Not 135, just 35.
I don't know why I can't see these tables with my eyeballs.
It's in the
There we
on
go.
the right side.
Looked right at it and scrolled.
Yeah.
Oh, page 35, not PDF page 35.
Yeah, it's
I'm
probably
like,
36.
That's
36.
memories.
Since they count that front cover as a page.
Front cover, glossary.
blinks.
Where's the D12? Oh, it's over here already.
Oh, I like this one.
11.
I
Sorry,
got
go ahead.
9.
9. Yeah, that one looked good too.
In a cluttered warehouse off Animoid Row, hidden from prying eyes.
Did you rescue your dog?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that sounds cool.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Right, I got a 5, which was
Cheap rundown. No.
Oh, a condo filled with old
Oh.
memories and a
Memories.
balcony.
Nothing run down
Oh.
for the picture.
all
Overlooking
right.
Neon streets of
With all that
Little Tokyo.
chinion.
okay.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
Not bad.
I'm sorry, so you said yours up before.
I didn't know. I was curious about. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was curious about 11, and I rolled 11.
Oh wow.
oh. And that's fine. It's just you don't have a home. You just drift around and couch surf or find a spot.
I'm just so well connected. I just know people.
I got a 12, so I have to roll again. Because I live with a
This is
suspect.
perfect.
Wow.
Ah.
Oh.
Wow.
I got the sparsely furnished LAPD housing apartment.
Wow.
That's
Mm.
messy.
It's just
That
built.
is very messy.
Story is just writing
Is your
itself.
suspect
I mean,
also
I
a
like
cop?
it. Maybe they were a cop
Yeah.
and something has happened and now they're on the run.
I have an idea for this
Or-
character, so I'm a little bit like,
I mean, again,
yeah.
or roll again if you want. Just discount 1 through 4 if you'd like to.
See, and then I got 11. It really wants me to live in LAPD housing. Really, really, really. Okay, I'm changing D12s. This is getting out of hand. There. Rolled a 7.
A huge but dilapidated old apartment in an abandoned building off Retirement Row with leaking ceilings
Cool.
and full of debris.
Love
That's
this.
fun.
This is cool.
Sure.
That sounds like where a suspect would live.
Yes.
Mhm. Well, maybe you lived in LAPD housing until they became a suspect, and now you had to.
Now you kind of ran with them. I like it.
Wait. My sibling is suspected of a crime. Do you live with my sibling?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh, here. I'm seeing that really famous building that they used downtown in the first movie with all the rain in it.
the Bradbury.
Bradbury.
The Bradbury. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
The one that's our splash screen logo.
Yeah.
That's what Kimmy was like. Hey, Dave, do you have any ideas on what you'd want to use for your title card? And I was like, yes,
Yes.
I do. Here's what I want to use, but change the color.
Yes.
Because it was like a bright daylight shot of
Oh.
it. And I'm like, oh, no.
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 Can be dark.
Your in the middle, your humanity points. You're not starting with any, but humanity points I will pass out during gameplay and at the end of each session. Or sometimes we do it at the beginning of the next session. It kind of depends on where we are time-wise for the night. Some of the ways that'll earn you a humanity point is if you have used your key memory or interacted with it in some way. If you've interacted with your key relationship in some way, or if you fail a baseline test as a replicant. Humanity points are what you're going to use to increase your skill levels through the game. Your promotion points can kind of you can get new specialties like the ones you got with your origami and that kind of stuff. You can also use them to roll a connections roll to get equipment, like I was saying. You can also, once per case, you can make a connections roll to turn a promotion point into a Chinian point.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So you can just be like, listen, I need access to some money for this to happen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When a replicant hits 0 promotion points,
Currently.
Same.
okay. Uh,
Promotion or humanity points?
Doesn't
promotion
matter.
points.
Okay.
It's
Same.
same. Yeah.
So when you hit 0, you have to take the next shift to do a baseline test.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Starting off
Um,
strong.
We're doing real good. We're winning.
so
Winning at pretending to be
Weird.
heroes.
Our first case is to retire 2 replicants.
Good luck with that.
And
So-
the dog.
if you succeed at your baseline test, you gain a promotion point immediately.
Ah,
If you fail, there are increasing levels of severity.
Cool.
So the first failure is a verbal warning.
Oh no, not that.
The second failure is a recalibration mandatory meeting with a psychologist,
Ooh.
I don't care for that.
which takes a whole shift of your time. There's an important mechanic I'll talk about in just a second.
Yeah.
If you get to that point, it reduces all your stress points that you've taken. Spending time seeing a psychologist can help make people feel better. But it reduces your maximum resolve by 1.
We're already doing great there.
And if you fail third time, that's immediate retirement.
Cool. It's gonna go great, guys.
We're gonna be fine.
There's nothing to worry about.
Feel so good about this.
Yeah.
Hopeful.
So that's that. The thing about shifts, in your little packets I gave all of you, there is a case file tracker that gives you, like, it's a breakdown of like a grid. You have basically 4 shifts in a day. Okay? And you can't work every shift. You have to go rest or recuperate or de-stress. You can get stress throughout the game all kinds of different ways. Maybe somebody, gives you a hard time and it really hits home. You can take stress that way. You could take stress if you walk into a crime scene and it's terrible. And you're like, oh, not a good deal. So that time off helps you reduce your stress. And you have to take at least 1 shift, I think. I'd have to remember. Per day as time off. You can push yourself to work farther, but then it's almost like you end up having to take more time to recuperate. But sometimes you have to.
You can work a Saturday, but they have to sleep all day Sunday.
Yeah. But the way it works is you can basically go and accomplish 1 scene per shift. So if for example, you guys have gotten a report that there was a shootout at an old warehouse. Okay, we've got a crime scene. Maybe there's some dead folks there. Maybe there's evidence there to go check out. But going to the crime scene is going to take a whole shift. Going to try and use that mainframe to access surveillance cameras around the city and see who you saw going in and out of that warehouse, that'll take a character a shift. Going to talk to if you've got a contact that works in shipping, maybe that they've heard something about there was a big buy or a big underground exchange going on, that'd take a shift. So like the shifts can go pretty quickly. It's not like, okay, let's plot out what you're doing for 8 hours. It's, you're going to get to go do 1 sort of major thing, basically. But like I said, the game does encourage you guys to split up. So somebody can go check out the neighborhood. Somebody can go to the crime scene or maybe the morgue and look at the victims. Somebody can go, check the truck rental place to see if there's any records there. That kind of, you can all split up and accomplish things to kind of progress the mystery. And here's the intimidating part for me as a GM. This game is very dependent on me providing you with clues. Those of you watching at home that know how I like to start off the games I'm running is I like to take their prepackaged adventure that most games come with one and kind of use that as our stepping off point. So that's what we'll be doing here. It's their mystery called Electric Dreams that came in the starter box. We'll be running that as our starting point and then going from there.
Cool.
The fun part about doing that, I find, is, and I've had people tell me that they like seeing that happen because they like seeing, like, I've got all the GM's notes at home. Now, how did the players go in different directions and how did Dave end up dealing with that? In the Rifts game, like the first session, Bill shot that guy in the face. The major NPC that was supposed to kind of be there through the whole story.
Oops, immediately murdered.
So that was just like, all right, I'll just close up this here book. And we'll move on to a different part of the story.
Aw.
Shouldn't have looked at his giant dragon daughter weird.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But, things happen.
Horrible sentence.
So, yeah, that's kind of that. You guys have characters.
Sweet.
I have
Sneak.
homework.
We gotta come up with names.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the hard part.
That
please
part.
do.
You already did that.
Nice.
Importantly, I think I figured out what kind of dog I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
what
that
kind
is
of-
important.
You guys know what a Russian bear dog is?
Oh,
Yeah. Bear Mastiff.
Also, that is definitely what they would make as
Yeah.
as an animal. They'd be like, "What's the most
Absolutely.
ridiculous dog we can make?"
It's just like so huge.
Yeah.
Ridiculously
furry.
huge.
Love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Very
Um,
de-stressing.
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely. Good weighted blanket.
Some other things about the Blade Runner universe I should go over a little bit. The very wealthy have left Earth. They have paid for or gotten their way onto shuttles that take them to the off-world colonies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a new ecosystem that they can wreck all over again. So let's start fresh. The people that are left here on Earth, some of them are incredibly wealthy, and maybe they just don't want to leave. Maybe they want to keep running their corporation that they have here on Earth, and it's difficult to do from great distance. Because Blade Runner hasn't solved faster than light communication, right? Like, that's not something. So most people that are on Earth are gonna live and die on Earth. It's the very privileged few that maybe they develop some kind of a skill that would be great and useful. Maybe they're a super talented biologist, so they earn a seat on a shuttle. Maybe mom and dad own a giant megacorp, and so they just can pay to put their kids on the shuttle and start fresh somewhere. It's not a place you guys are going to go. That's not the way the stories are set up. But it's out there.
Okay.
The other thing is, off Earth, the corporations are kind of off the chain. That's why so many replicants are sent up there to fight, because there's no government organization up there telling the corporations they can't just try and murder each other to take over territory. So it's just all out wild corporate hegemony in space. On Earth, the UN still ostensibly controls the planet. But the corporations, again, are so wealthy that they can strongly influence things. But, that's kind of where the LAPD and you guys get your mandate to work, is the government is still a government, right? And there's enough people left on Earth that even the corporations with massive wealth can't just tell those people to fuck off, because there's too many of them, right? Even if you've got 50 million people and you have 50,000 well-trained replicant soldiers, you're still going to lose. Even if all they have is broomsticks and trash can lids, that's not a war you could fight. The other thing that has developed since the first Blade Runner movie is AI tech has gotten a lot better. So that's where Dispatch comes from. That's where, even if you've only seen the trailer of the second Blade Runner movie, you've seen Ana de Armas's character.
Mm-hmm.
She is a holographic AI projection that is able to interact and be pretty much a person, as long as there's a either portable or nearby holo projector. So you'll run into that stuff. Again, it's highly doubtful any of you have ever or will ever see a natural animal. It's also highly doubtful any of you have ever eaten a natural animal. Aside from maybe bugs, processed into protein stuff, that kind of thing. Replicants still do have to eat. Because, like I said, they're biological, so they have to heal up and deal with wounds and all that stuff, just like everybody else. I think that's pretty much it. Anybody have any questions?
Super excited.
Yeah.
I'm super jazzed. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I like the mix of choices we made. I'm curious how it'll pan out. The connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to get 2 weeks to go home and kind of custom tailor the adventure around the characters that you guys have made. As soon as you come up with a name, please send it to me on Slack pretty soon. Or Kimmy is going to send out a
thing,
questionnaire
yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can get our intro movie done before we start the game. And we can get name tags for everybody and get them up. We will not be here next Tuesday. We are coming back the first Tuesday in September to start episode 1. And don't worry, people watching at home, I'm working on a way to try and make all the clues and things digitally available so that we can put them up on screen and you can see them as the party sees them. I'll be bringing hard copy things to show you guys, but we'll have them so that viewers at home can kind of participate and see the things we're talking about.
Cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's kind of the thing that I'm working on now, which is fine until we finish this pre-done mystery, and then I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing with some art stuff because it's gonna go from, oh, here's this beautifully cool cyberpunky looking, image that you pull from a surveillance camera, and then the next mystery is gonna be like, okay, cool, here's this image of somebody walking up the stairs, and it's just gonna be like
MS Paint.
a stick figure going up the stairs, like with really like
Just
one
photos
long
of you
arm.
doing it in
Yeah.
different wigs.
Oh my god, that's everything.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm kind of working on that. Like I can handle stuff like making up a newspaper article, or
Sure.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But when it comes to art, that's not my jam. So we'll figure it out. It'll be fun. And yeah. So
Okay.
art people on the Discord, I may be reaching out to you to see if you'd be willing to do a little sketch at some point. Because yeah, I'd like to maintain a level of quality that is not my stick figures. With that, I think we'll call it for today. It's a little early, I know, but that's the way character creation goes. Especially as this is kind of a flow creation. It's not,
Yeah.
all right, sit here and let's do math for 2 hours.
Right.
Make choices that then change one of your stats. So now you get more choices.
So many thoughts.
That's the old school Palladium Rifts style character generation of like,
Remember that.
cool, I took boxing, so I get extra attacks, and I get a bonus to my strength, which then gives me more stats that I can put into something else and give me more skills. And
Mhm.
so it's this recursive loop of character creation that you can go through over and over again to be wild. So thanks for tuning in out there in internet land. Also thanks to, I've seen James in the chat, as always, keeping our chat room a safe place. Top-notch work. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you to everybody that is a Happy Jacks Patreon member. It is the Patreon money that helped make all of this a reality, so we have a place to sit and play games, which is what I appreciate about all y'all. Because why would I want to play at home where it isn't automatically recorded for me to be able to remember every detail, every game?
That's no taking ever.
This is the best. So thank you, Patreons, for your generous donations. And the new system is out there. Also, if you're listening to this or watching and you're not on the Discord, feel free to stop by the Happy Jacks Discord. The link is on the website, happyjacks.org. If you send me a message on there and you're a Patreon member, I can certainly do that. James, I got you. Or all of us got you. But one of the things, Patreon folks, if you send me a message on Discord and you give me even a vague concept of a character, I'm happy to try and integrate them as an NPC in this game. So that's a thing from me to you because you're awesome.
Oh,
And not because I want to be lazy and let other people make my NPCs. You can join the Patreon at happyjacks.org/Patreon. Let's go around one more time. We'll start over here this time.
Hey everybody, I've been, still be, Joey. and look forward to playing the hot one in this campaign.
Snuck it in. Hi, my name's Cousteau. You can find me on Twitter at being Cousteau. I look forward to playing doing Edward James almost, right in this campaign, repping.
Hi everybody, I'm Kai. You can find me on all social media platforms as Estelle of Imladris. You can follow some of my wacky adventures there. You can also find me on Saturday in the halfway point of Arc 1 in the Campaign 2 of Transplanter RPG, where I play a very messy, very gay purple cowboy.
Amazing. And hi everybody, I'm Sam, and I probably will be next time too. You can find me on the internet at Red Pandroid, and I'm very excited to be your probably not all that friendly Rutger Hauer of this game.
Yes.
Like I said before, you can catch us in 2 weeks. Another cyberpunkish reference. I love it. We'll be back the first Tuesday of September to play our next session. And then after that, you can start, shortly after things get exported, you'll be able to find this character creation session at happyjacks.org/burningbright. We'll see you next time. Bye.